Hello friends, welcome you to the AFOSOP video tutorial series. Today I'm going to take a topic, change management for SSB interview preparation. There has been a lot of queries about how to prepare for the SSB, so I thought I'll start a new series and I hope you find it useful. Now, when you go to the SSB, a candidate is assessed by three techniques: the psychological test, the interview and the GTO. We understand psychological tests, आप सोचते क्या हो, interview आप बोलते क्या हो, and GTO आप करते क्या हो. So there has to be congruence between the three, and all these three people, they are looking for the same set of 15 officer-like qualities which you understand. Factor 1, planning and organization; factor 2, social adjustment; factor 3, social effectiveness; and factor 4, dynamic, under these various OLQs that we understand. Now when you go to the SSB and you are asked, there's a famous advertisement, do you have it in you? We all shout and say, yes, I have it in me. And then you go through these tests, and then there is your actions in terms of words, thoughts and action. What we are looking for is what you claim to be your values and your action. There has to be certain degree of integrity in them. There has to be certain degree of congruence between what you think, what you speak and what you do. And in case we are a person with integrity, अगर आपके व्यक्तित्व में जुड़ाव है, तो आप जो सोचते हो, आप जो बोलते हो और आप जो करते हो, इन तीनों में जुड़ाव होगा. But if there is disintegrity in your personality, then your thoughts, words and action will not be incongruence. There will be inconsistency in your performance, and it simply means you have a disintegrated personality. And what do you mean by integrity? In simple words, integrity is choosing your thoughts, words and action based on your values rather than personal gain. And in case of SSB, what is the personal gain? The desire to get recommended cost and means immaterial. And integrity also means that you will have the moral courage to take your decisions or take your actions consistent with your own internal knowledge of right and wrong, not to be tutored by some external agency. For example, coaching center people like me. We should not alter your decision making process. But when you do a rote memory based preparation for SSB, you actually lose your integrity. There are inconsistencies in what you claim your values are and what you demonstrate through these three psychological tests, interview and the GTO. So one has to be careful from such training models. Anyway, just to give you an example, this is an ECG machine. The purpose of the ECG machine is that whenever a patient comes and you put this ECG machine on him, it gives the present status of his heart. So if it is a healthy heart, you get a good report, and if you have a faulty heart, when the same ECG machine goes through, monitors it, you give a report that is not accurate. Now, if you understood this, if you have a heart that has a problem, the purpose of the ECG machine operator or the cardiologist is that he must tell you the ways and methods so that your heart improves, and with an improved version of your heart, once you come back and go through the ECG test, there is an improvement in the test, and gradually over a period of time, when you sustain your effort, your heart comes to a acceptable performance. In the same way, what is the role of a coaching center? The role of a coaching center, it is supposed to be telling the candidates or help the candidate identify his core inner values, assist him in identifying his fundamental strengths and weaknesses, give them concrete tools to eliminate their weaknesses, help them understand and identify and eliminate their performance barriers. If this is what the coaching centers are doing, they're doing a fantastic job. But unfortunately, they do something else, and what they're expected to do, it's not being done. Only thing is, in case of ECG machine, it is the health of the heart. In case of an SSB interview or the coaching centers, it is healthy and balanced personality. So if there are imbalances in personality, one has to be taught, one has to be told what to do, rather than trying to improve the responses by keeping the personality deficiencies the way it is. Now that's not the aim of the coaching center. Now unfortunately, what is Ratta based coaching center, what they do is, let any kind of heart comes, they say we will coach you in such a manner that irrespective of the quality of your heart, you will get a fantastic report in the SSB, and we have achieved 80% success in doing this. That's disastrous, both for the individual and for the nation as a whole. So whatever be the quality of heart, they assure you of a decent report. How can that is possible? Now this is not the way the coaching centers have to train the boys. And they claim they are ISO certified in doing this and 80% success rate. No. Now, just to understand, since I've been involved in this AFOSOP project for almost 7 years plus now, and I have realized, having interacted with a lot of boys and girls, that there is lack of goal setting. They have not really understood what the SSB is looking for and what are the areas where they have to work. So, like for example, if you're going for a civil services, you exactly know what are they looking for and you prepare. The syllabus is defined. In case of SSB, it's not defined. For example, suppose a company wants a carpenter, so you know you need carpenter skills, so you'll go and learn carpenter skills. If you're a plumber, you know you cannot go for this because their skills are, the skills required are carpentry skills, whereas you are a plumber. But in case of SSB, it's very vague because they are not looking for any specific skill, technical skill. They are looking for something called officer-like qualities, and somewhere the coaching centers have created a illusion that these can be acted. No, that's unfortunately wrong. So I find when I interact with candidates, there is lack of clarity in terms of their goal setting. Let me give you an example. In a bright sunlight, sunny day, you have the sun on top, and you have a paper on the ground, but it does not burn. Why? The energy is not focused. It is not concentrated. You put a convex lens, align it, and it does not take a second to burn. So in the same way, you also have tremendous amount of potential, but unfortunately it's not correctly focused. Your efforts are scalar in nature, and scalar only has magnitude, it does not have direction. The job of the coaching center is to give you direction to your scalar effort, convert the scalar efforts into vector effort. Unfortunately, that's not being done. So I'll explain it through a model. For example, this is you and this is your goal. So when you come to any coaching center, or maybe when you plan that you want to become an armed forces, so that becomes your immediate goal. So this is your goal, to become armed forces officers. Now I assume that all of you are correctly focused, even though when I interact I find it's not correctly focused. In fact, many of the coaching centers themselves, put you out of focus. But for hypothetically, let us take that you're correctly focused and you come to us. Look, for example, I'll quote my example. So boys and girls comes to us, focused that they want to achieve the goal. Fantastic. Now, from the very first day, we conduct a assisted introspection module termed as lifeline analysis. As part of that, suddenly you realize between you and your goal there are a couple of barriers. In fact, not couple of barriers, many barriers. And these barriers are not only going to affect you in your SSB, that definitely is going to be, it is also going to affect your life, because after all, SSB is a subset of life. You cannot do anything in SSB what you already don't do in life. For example, if you're a lemon को आप life में squeeze करो या SSB में squeeze करो, the result is going to be the same. So you cannot take out mango juice out of lemon in SSB. So to become a mango juice, you'll have to do some changes in that. In the same way, the moment you realize that there are barriers in your in your path towards your goal, it creates pressure. What are the barriers? We'll have a separate presentation or separate video on that. What all kinds of common barriers are formed. A couple of them are poor communication skill, low self-esteem, low confidence, lack of awareness, lack of interpersonal skills. You have academic knowledge, but the application is missing. So your practical work sense is missing. Interpersonal skills, intrapersonal skills, whole lot of things. Mental stamina is low. Physical stamina in some cases are low. So multiple issues can be there. So anyway, whenever the barrier is identified, you start experiencing pressure. And in fact, we experienced this in our interaction on the very first day during the life and analysis process. The people got a tremendous amount of pressure. Now, when this pressure comes, and this pressure is coming because of this identification of obstacles and barriers, now you realize that your entire energy now shifts from the goal to the barrier. It happens in life also. Suddenly when we experience a pressure or obstacle, the energy flows there. And then if you don't manage this, you get entangled into your entire energy gets, invested into that. And there's a famous saying, wherever your attention goes, your energy flows. Which energy I'm talking about? The psychological energy. So your entire energy is now focused on the obstacle. Arey, ab kya hoga? Mera language theek nahi, mera communication theek nahi hai, this theek nahi hai, wo theek nahi hai, and all that. And gradually, if you're not able to handle this, you realize the focus, which was already not correctly focused, is gone. And now your entire energy is now invested on the obstacle. Now this is a dangerous situation. Now the coaching centers, they have adopted a technology to overcome this. They give you ready-made solutions to handle these situations. So they give you prepared material that you do this so those obstacles will be overcome. No, that does not happen that way. Now this is clearly a RATA-based solution to the whole problem. Now, what is required is a shift in the way you look at this problem. You need to be programmed to look at this problem, whether it is life or in SSB. You need to have a perspective that goes beyond these obstacles and see the goal once again. Now, that's where the role of the coaching centers come. So what it means is the problem still exists, but you are programmed to look at the whole issue from a different perspective. So this is the different perspective. So the obstacle still remains, but you have a different point of view, different attitude to look at the whole issue. And then not only the obstacle is visible, you are also realigned and refocused to your own goals. This way, you become a problem solver in spite of the obstacle setback. This is what is expected. A shift in your focus from Sarpadrishti, you can see a snake below. From Sarpadrishti, I'll call it to Garuda Drishti. The moment you come to Garuda Drishti, the pressures are removed because you rise up above the obstacle and sees not only the obstacle but also the possible alternative solutions to this. If you can do this in life, you can do it in SSB too. Now this shift cannot be done by ratta. Ratta, WAT, TAT, SRT को रट लेने से आपका सर्प दृष्टि से गरुड़ दृष्टि में shift नहीं हो सकता. Now this is what is the role of the coaching center. If they are not doing this, आप अपनी लक्ष्मी को गलत जगह पर invest कर रहे हो. So this model does not work. Ratta based model. Now for this shift to happen, you have to understand that when you go to the conventional coaching center, वो सीधा आपको पहले दिन से शुरू होता है. TAT कर लो, OAR रट लो, SRT रट लो, WAT रट लो, रटा है, SD दे दे, तुम्हारे मम्मी पापा क्या बोल रहे हैं. That is not the change. That's a superficial, gross level change. Gift wrapping पे काम हो रहा है, gift पे काम नहीं हो रहा. Whereas the change, for any change to happen, it has to happen at 4 levels. What are the 4 levels? The first level is at the action level. That is your behavior level. We'll see that. Second is the understanding level or the intellectual level, buddhi ke star par. And the third is the feeling level, that is the emotional level. And the highest is the consciousness, ya thought level pe. Now the most basic level or the most gross level is behavioral level. For example, you go to the coaching center, they tell you do's and don'ts. ऐसे करना, वैसे नहीं करना, फट्टाले के अंदर कूद जाना, उसमें initiative है. Group obstacle race में hold the snake from the head, उसमें initiative है. Group planning exercise में तुम ही solution देना, उसमें leadership है. This is all bullshit. You are being taught at the behavior level. Nothing fundamentally is changing in you. उस कोचिंग के 15 days के बाद आपका लक्ष्मी चला जाएगा, but fundamentally you are still the same idiot. Nothing has changed in you. The second level is the intellectual level. What do you mean by intellectual level? Understanding के level पे. You understand that certain things are done for this reason, and those intellectual level changes bring changes at the action level. There's more understanding of the whole process. Having seen the AFOSOP videos, and I'm sure a lot of people are understanding at the intellectual level what SSB is and what are the demands. But that does not suffice. And the third level is the emotional level, महसूस करने की शक्ति, the भावनात्मक level, the interpersonal skills. That is the third level, and maybe at a little higher level. So many times you're writing WAT, SRT and all those things given by the coaching centers. They say they're deep thinking. There are printed notes available on the online. There are 45 rupees के WAT, TAT, SRT मिलते हैं. उसमें लिखा हुआ solved SRTs with OLQs mentioned. Somebody का solved SRT, how will it give you your OLQs? No, that's not the way it is. So emotional level. I'll explain the whole levels to a different model. And the last and the final is the consciousness level, at the thought level. So if you can change at the thought level, these are transformational changes. Transformation matlab nothing of the original remains. I'll explain you through various examples what I mean by these levels. So to understand this 4 levels, I'll give you an example. Let us take that you are a student and you want to become a doctor. Now to become a doctor, all of us understand that we have to do a course which is called MBBS. So this is the doctor degree. So the moment you learn MBBS, you are learning at the understanding level. As part of your first year, second year, third year, you have not become a doctor, so you cannot act, or the action level you cannot do because still not a doctor. But once you get trained, you get a certificate, now you can function as a doctor because you have a degree. So you have worked for 5 years or 4 years or whatever, and you get a degree, MBBS, you learn a lot of things, and then you become now you don't have to acting karne ki zarurat nahi because you are already a doctor. So the behavior, at the behavior level comes very, very natural. No, but not necessarily that you're a good doctor, because unless you have a good emotional understanding, interpersonal skills with the patient, you cannot be a good doctor even though you have a degree. है ना, आप किसी का किडनी निकाल के बेच दोगे because you're ना feeling level पे you're a criminal in the form of a doctor. So that does not suffice. Now there can be just to explain this level 3, that is feeling. There's a beautiful story from our mythology. There was a king in front of whom two ladies come and say, this child is mine, this child is mine. So there was one child, two claimants, both claiming that she was the mother. The king got confused. So the king said, okay, fine, leave the child here, come after 2 days. So after 2 days, both the ladies come. Again, the child was kept in front, and both the ladies started saying, this child is mine, this child is mine. So king says, okay, fine, I've gone through the case. I think the child belongs to both of you. So he calls a jallad. He says, cut the child into two and give it to both of them half. And the moment this order was passed, one of the ladies said, no, king, I'm telling a lie. This child does not belong to me. Give it to the other lady. What happened? When this direction was given by the king, the level 3 of the actual mother got triggered. So she said, no, I don't need the child, give it to the child, because her aim was the child would survive. And the other mother, who was a fake mother, kept quiet. So Raja said, give it to the mother who cried and put the other person into jail. So just an example, the importance of level 3. So unless you have good functional level 3, it does not work. Now let's also have another case, case 2. Now case 2 is, you don't do MBBS, but you ratta maro MBBS. For example, Munna Bhai MBBS mein Sanjay Dutt, what he did not study, but he was doing ratta maro. You see that scene, you remember, where he was sitting with doctors and trying to ratta maro what diabetic is and all that thing. So ratta maro. So you become a ratta maro doctor, and then you start acting like a doctor. Even if your level 3 feeling is good, for example, like Munna Bhai MBBS, you still do not become a doctor, because you have not done the medical, MBBS thing. You are an actor, but not a doctor. Now, this is the way the coaching center teach you. They don't make you understand at the level 2. That's why there's a lot of confusion. When you get recommended, you're confused. Why did I get recommended? When you're not recommended, again you're confused. Why I'm not recommended? Because it's like 3 Idiot में वो statement है, बोल वो रहे हैं, शब्द हमारे. You are trained in that line. Printed, they claim themselves to be number 1 in the country, और जाते ही पहले दिन printed notes देते हैं. डायगोनल में लिखते हैं सो एंड सो एकेडमी, ताकि कोई कॉपी ना कर ले. व्हाट शेम. इज दिस द वे लीडरशिप इज टॉट? दिस इज नॉट लीडरशिप, दिस इज चमत्कारी ट्रेनिंग, आई से. एनीवे, नाउ लेट्स सी व्हाट इज द 4th level. Okay, fine. The level 2 understanding level is the hard skills, your knowledge content. So if you're an engineer, you need to have engineering skills. If you're a doctor, medical skills. If you're something else, if you're a carpenter, your carpentry becomes the hard skills. And the level 3, that is feeling, becomes the soft skills. In case of SSB ka OLQ, the level 2, that is understanding, that becomes the factor 1 qualities. That is effective intelligence, reasoning ability, organizing ability, and power of expression. Of course, power of expression is applicable all across. So those are your hard skills. And soft skill is the factor 2 qualities, that is social adaptability, cooperation, sense of responsibility, social adaptability, all those things, they come under the soft skills. So these are the 2 levels. And the action level is a byproduct of these 2 levels, that is 2nd and 3rd. If the 2nd and 3rd is in place, the level 1, action level, it will come automatically. It does not need to be taught in the form of chamatkar training. Now, what is the level 4? That is consciousness. Now, consciousness ka matlab hai your state of mind. With what state of mind are you performing whatever task you're performing? For example, let us say you are a case 1 doctor. Matlab asli doctor hai, that means level 2 mein you are MBBS, and level 3 you are a good doctor, and you're sitting in the staff room, and suddenly the medical staff or the nursing officer or nursing people, they come and say, sir, the case is ready for operation, kindly come. So as long as you are not called into the operation theatre, you're just sitting with your colleagues and speaking all things. But the moment you enter into the operation theatre, you cannot operate with the same state of mind. You have to now come to the state of mind of a surgeon. And since you have at level 2 the MBBS degree, the knowledge, so the files of the surgeon get loaded. So you go there and you perform the surgery. Now suppose if you're a ratta based doctor, this loading of surgery files will not happen because there's nothing inside. आपने तो रट्टा मारा. So within the ambit of that ratta, you may do something, but thereafter beyond it, you will not be able to. So that becomes very, very dangerous because not a surgeon. Now I'll give you another case. Let us say when the surgeon goes into the operation theater, she removes the that thing and ready about to operate, and suddenly he or she realize, oh my God, this person whom I have to operate is my own son or my daughter. And I'm the mother of this child, or I'm the father of this child. So from surgeons, in that consciousness, you suddenly shift to mother's consciousness. Now, because of the mother's consciousness getting loaded into your, mind space, suddenly the level 3 feeling gets affected. Since it was earlier a patient, my daughter, no problem. The doctor can cut it, open it and do everything. But his own daughter, her own daughter, now the level 3 is disturbed. Ab injection bhi nahi laga. Why? Because the level 3 got disturbed. So consciousness ka matlab hai your state of mind. So when you're going to the SSB interview, your consciousness should be a candidate. And a candidate should not do ratta mar chamatkari training. He should improve himself as a person acceptable to the SSB instead of cracking the SSB. Cracking the SSB, ऐसा लगता है crack SSB, दीवार में छेद करके अंदर SSB में जाता. That should not be your aim. Your aim should be to get recommended. काबिल बनो, कामयाबी झक मार के आइए. Remember the 3 idiot का. So काबिल बनो. ये कौन सा रट्टा मार के डॉक्टर बन रहे हो तुम? That's not the way. You are being fooled by the coaching centers because action level pay, that is the level 1, is a byproduct when all the upper levels are in order. And when you are in the right state of mind, your functional efficiency become of extremely high order, both in life and in SSB. What I'm speaking is not about SSB. SSB is a subset of life. Unfortunately, you pay so much of money to learn acting. You are not going for any audition in the SSB. SSB is not an audition. ताज के अंदर जब कसब घुसेगा, there is no audition. You have been trained in comfort zone, whereas you should be trained for combat zone. There's a difference between comfort zone and combat zone. Acting सिखा दिया और आप पैसे देके acting सीख रहे हो number 1 लोगों से? No. Anyway, now let's use the same model. If you are a soldier already serving the Army, Navy, Air Force, or if you're a student and you want to become an officer, you may be a good soldier, good student, but a good soldier and a good student does not qualify to become a good officer. Does not mean that you have oil queues. I asked a couple of serving people, why do you want to become an officer? Sir, my CEO told that I'm a very sincerely hard-working person. Any job that is given to me, I complete in time. Any job that you do complete in time, you are a good follower. Hard-working to gada bhi karta hai. So just because you're a hard-working and sincere person does not qualify you to become an officer. What do you do besides this? Because this is your comfort zone. If you don't do, your CEO will kick you. What do you do? No, I have nothing. I don't do anything. Well, where is the plus? Where is the edge? What makes you think that you are eligible for? No, I just want to become an officer because it looks good. No, it does not look good. You have to be good for that. So this soldier needs to be having plus component to become an officer. A good soldier, definitely desirable. But to become an officer, you need to be a good soldier and plus. A good student, plus. What's your plus? Let me explain you using this, change model. Now, it is a big jump. A soldier becoming an officer. It's a big jump. Unfortunately or fortunately, in this case, when the fish is taking this jump, there is too much of a risk. If the jump goes wrong, the fish dies. But unfortunately, in case of you, when you take a jump, if you get recommended, fantastic, you are into the bigger pot. If you don't get recommended, the water is everywhere. You don't go by, there's no risk. So people go many times without realizing what are they doing. And coaching says, non-threatening situation. There is no risk. एक फौजी SSB में जाता है, सेलेक्ट हो गया तो बहुत अच्छा, नहीं सेलेक्ट हो तो वापस यूनिट में गिरता है. All he has to do is कि वहाँ पे तो पैसा चलता है, मेरे पास नहीं है, some story, and that's end of. There's no risk, and since there's no risk, everybody is jumping. Officer बनना, रट्टा मारो, officer बनो, and coaching center thriving on your bloody foolishness. Anyway, now just to understand, if you want to become an officer from a student or a soldier, first thing is at the understanding level. And in this case, there is no MBBS, there is no carpentry. What is it? It is your personality, your attitude, your belief system, your communication skill, your decision making skill, your pressure handling capacity. Your high academic achievements is not going to help you, because you may be 98% in the academic achievement, but if you are not able to operate yourself in a Taj-like situation, if you are not able to handle pressure, if you suffer from low self-esteem, what the hell you will influence and inspire others when you are not able to influence and inspire yourself? तुम खुद के तो WAT TAT रट के आते हो, रट्टा मार के तुम क्या दूसरों को इन्फ्लुएंस करोगे? तुम्हारा दिमाग खराब हो गया. So first thing is this so-called OLQ is nothing but a deep understanding, and they are the qualities that we are looking for, that is equivalent to the MBBS. And if you have this, then you have no problem in functioning at an effective level in the SSB. But you may not still be recommended because you need to have appropriate interpersonal skills. So you may be very good in terms of your application, but if you're lacking in level 3, that is the feeling level or the interpersonal skills or the emotional level, you don't fit into the team component. Armed forces function as a team, but you have a problem. You may be individually very good, like Bindya Nayak of Chak De India, or Lakha from I think I messed it up. Bindya Nayak from Chak De India and Lakha from Lagan movie. So they were both very competent in their own field, but they had very poor interpersonal skills. Both of them were destroying the team functioning. So you may be extremely good in your hard skills and extremely good communication skill, decision making, but poor social skills. No, not acceptable. So that's your soft skill. And then when you go to the the intention of Charlie काटना, है ना, GD में I agree with you बोलते हो. क्या agree with you बोलते हो? है ना, फट्टा उठा के भाग रहे हो, बोलते हो कॉपरेट, लेट्स कॉपरेट. फट्टा उठा के भागने से लेट कॉपरेट होता है. फट्टा किसी को देना नहीं, किसी को देना नहीं, GP का सोल्यूशन मैं ही दूंगा. Is it the way you cooperate? You are being fooled by these coaching centers. You have to understand that. So you need to have a state of mind. You cannot act cooperation. It's a bhav. It should exist. It will manifest. OLQ को छिड़कना नहीं है, OLQ झलकना चाहिए. तुम्हारे कर्म की क्वालिटी से OLQ झलकना चाहिए, ना कि OLQ को छिड़कना करना. Ram was very determined, courageous and honest person. No, Ram cannot be courageous, determined, honest just because you are saying it. Ram has to prove it through his actions. And when you are in this state of mind as a candidate, fool the system. He does not think of cracking the SSB. He thinks of getting recommended by the system. For this, he works on himself, not at the level 1, Rattamar. No. So if you do this, then you function at a very high level in the SSB. Actually, you perform at a very, very peak potential because you're not concerned about what others are doing. You're more focused inward and working about your own internal strength rather than फट्टा उठा के भागना and I agree with you बोलना. I agree with you. शर्म भी नहीं आता, समझ भी नहीं आता टॉपिक यार. बस 3-3 मिनट में बोलते, 3-3 मिनट में तेरी आवाज़ आनी चाहिए. I agree with you. I agree with you. एक कोचिंग साल है, सर बोलता है लेफ्ट राइट देख के बोलो. नौटंकी बना रखा है. Anyway, so you may be a very good soldier, but you're not a suitable candidate. You're not showing the potential for you to grow. No. Anyway, so this is clearly a case where you have to go through a process called change management. From the smaller pot to bigger pot, there's a change management required. This jump has to be accurate. This cannot be accidentally getting into the bigger pot. In this case, the soldier has to become an officer. He has to go through some change. What does change mean? Certain habits that you right now have to be identified, because keeping them, you will never be able to go through this process of change. It requires certain, reconfiguration, realignment within yourself, where you become a good soldier plus, a good student plus. You may be academically 98%, but I'm equally good in application, my analytical skills, my observational skills, my application skill, my interpersonal skills, my leadership skills, my ability to initiate, all those things cannot be acted. I'm sitting in front of you, I cannot act. All what I'm saying, I'm first experiencing it inside, and then I'm speaking to you, not speaking to you at a very superficial surface level. That's why these videos are making a lot of sense to you, and I'm hitting your level 2 intellect. I'm trying to make you understand the requirements of SSB rather than make you act on them. So what does this change management employ? I'm sure आप लोगों ने circus में देखा होगा. This is called trapeze jump. This lady comes from this side, let's call it A to B. She comes and then she leaves this A to B so that she catches C to D. In the same way, this is the job of the coaching center. Shift you from the A to B level to C to D, because unless you make this shift, the necessary changes, internal changes will not happen. And this shift is the transformational shift. You were working in a particular manner so far, but those manners are creating a blockage in terms of you're achieving the goal. So you have to leave that, and unless you do that, you cannot catch C to D. This is the job of the coaching center, to help manage this change and not to give you ready-made ratta, TAT, WAT. When your personality improves, your response should improve. It should be a consequence and not an aspiration. अगर मुकेश जो दिल्ली में रेप किया था उसको अगर विष्णु श्रेष्ठा जिसने वो लड़की को ट्रेन में बचाया था उसके डायलॉग रटवा देगा तो क्या मुकेश विष्णु श्रेष्ठा बन जाएगा? इट्स इडियोटिक। आप लोगों को शर्म भी नहीं आता? रट्टा मार के आप सोचते हो कि आपका पर्सनैलिटी चेंज हो जाएगा? क्या अब्दुल कलाम जी के डायलॉग्स को बिन लादेन रट्टा मार लेता है तो क्या बिन लादेन अब्दुल कलाम बन जाएगा? व्हाट आर यू टॉकिंग? Anyway, let me explain it through a model. Now, A to B is a approach of way of, a style of performing a job that you have been expert now, but then now you require a change because you're going for SSB. SSB requires certain things. And A to B, you may be extremely good in that, but it does not serve your purpose. So you have to switch from A to B to C to D. And the coaching center should assist you in this transition between these two places, that is from B to C and C to so that you latch on to C and then gradually take on. And now the confusion exists between B to C because that is the place where the transformation has to happen. A to B are already expert. So when you come to me, my biggest challenge is from a rote memory model of training for SSB, I have to shift you from C to D, that is a process oriented training. And my job is to manage between B to C. The moment I do that, you take on to C to D and you become independent. And trust me, in life we have done it many, many times. When you are born as a child, we have gone through this transformation. So this fish has to jump from the smaller jar to the bigger jar. It requires a change management, and this change management is between B to C, that is with a smaller jar to the bigger. Once it is inside, it will take care of itself. And we have gone through many times. When we were born as a child, our mothers, parents had to make a lot of changes. Now the comfort of sleeping in the night is not. The child cries, shoo shoo marta, ye karta, a lot of things. So the faster they change, the better we adapt. The child grows in the house. The child thinks he is in the center of the world, and the child goes to the school. Now the child suddenly realizes there are so many center of the worlds. Now the child has to change. Otherwise वो क्लास में बैठ के रोता रहता, मम्मी मुझे स्कूल नहीं जाना. The faster you adapt, you have changed. A to B, C to D. Now the child gets married, again a change. A to B, comfortable, bachelor life. C to D, married life. Switch over, that transit between B to C. So the support system is there. Somebody dies in a family, A to B till he was alive. Now C to D, that transition, B to C. I have experience in terms of my own personal experience. So turbulence is between B to C. In the same way, when you come to the SSB, your transition is from a soldier to an officer. A soldier, A to B, an officer ka soch, potential officer. That is the place where the coaching center plays. This change cannot be managed by ratta. Please understand this. Whether it is life, whether it is for corporate, whether it is for any interview, or tomorrow you're going to get married, this is the process. And this beautiful quote हिंदी में, परिवर्तन से डरना और संघर्ष से कतराना मनुष्य की सबसे बड़ी कायरता है. जीवन का सबसे बड़ा गुरु वक्त होता है, क्योंकि जो वक्त सिखाता है वो कोई नहीं सिखा सकता. So don't wait for वक्त to सिखाओ you. It is time before you go to the coaching centers. Please question them. Don't trust them. जब दुकान में कोई घी बेचता है ना, सब अपने दुकान के सामने यही लिखता है, हमारे दुकान में शुद्ध घी बिकता है, भले वो किसी की चर्बी बेच रहे हो. But it is your job as a customer to check the quality of the ghee. Don't trust them blindly, because they're going to be leaders. And leader has to test, verify things before come to a conclusion. अगर आप किसी सुनार के पास एक सोने का सिक्का ले जाते हो, कितना भी 24 कैरेट का हो, 4 बार घिस के देखता है. और किसी नकली हिस्से में कोचिंग सेंटर में जाके पेंट लगवा के ले जाओ तो को मुंह पे मार के ना उसको अंदर डलवा देगा. Because he knows that nothing has to be taken for words granted. Just because a brigadier sahab is speaking or a colonel sahab is speaking does not make them honest. They have their hidden agendas. So please test them. Sunar bano. Activate your intellect. Anyway, so what is required is a total transformation. I'll give you an example. Let us say आप लोगों के पास एक handkerchief है, रुमाल है, उस रुमाल को बहुत अच्छे से प्रेस किया हुआ है. So if I take that रुमाल from you and I make it all crumpled, गुच्छा गुच्छा, it has changed at the physical level, level 1. Now it's not looking that same press. But trust me, nothing of the internal properties have changed. It can still be brought back to the same by ironing it again. A total transformation is, इस रुमाल को अगर मैं आग लगा दूं और ये पूरा राख बन जाए. Now nothing of the previous remains. This is total internal transformation. So you have to go through certain internal transformation to become transformation leaders, from students to leaders, potential leaders, from soldiers to potential officers. इसको TAT रट लिया, WAT रट लिया, नंबर 1 कोचिंग सेंटर से SD लिखवा लिया, या इंटरव्यू के PIQ रट लिए. This does not make you a totally transformed person. This only makes you a चमत्कारी तोता. Please understand this. I hope it's making sense. The total transformation is not just about changing yourself from the outside. Gift wrapping को बदल देने से gift नहीं change हो जाता. उदाहरण के लिए अगर एक दरवाजा है लकड़ी का जो दीमक लग चुका है, अब दीमक लगा हुआ है, आपने क्या कर दिया, ऊपर के प्लाईवुड को चेंज करके पॉलिश कर दिया. Does it mean that दरवाजा has become all right? No, this is what the coaching centers do. अरे अगर दरवाजे को ठीक करना है, वो पैनल को निकालना पड़ेगा and put a new one. It has to be transformed and then put a plywood. Even if you don't put a plywood, it is still better than it may not look good, but it is stronger. Rather than दीमक के ऊपर चढ़ा दो अपना एक और नया. This is what they do and you pay money for this. So self-transformation is not just about changing yourself from the outside. It means shifting yourself to a completely new dimension of experience and perception. Come to AFOSOP and you will realize an entire focus of your SSB orientation is changed from the day 1 to the day till the day end. And not only you realize it is only for SSB, it is a life-oriented process. The academy ka naam itself is Academy for Life Skills Development. So my belief is, if I can correct you in your life, you will get corrected everywhere in all streams of life, including SSB. SSB is a subset of life. One of the coaching centers in Delhi, who charges almost 50,000 rupees. He has introduced in his email self-management concepts. And all. I'm very happy to see people are getting influenced and inspired by my videos. Fantastic. I want people to take it. In his email he has put all those things that I've been saying, that self-management, mind management, all those things. Fantastic. At least he's getting influence. I only feel he's influenced. They're not threatened by me. So please understand. You go through this. Gift wrapping change मत करो, क्योंकि वो SSB में उसको उड़ा देंगे, फाड़ देंगे. This kind of a change manage involves breaking your comfort zone. आप लोगों की पूरी ट्रेनिंग comfort zone में रह के, ना आपको करंट अफेयर्स करना, ना कम्युनिकेशन स्किल, रट्टा मारो, बीच में आई एग्री विथ यू बोलो, फट्टा उठा के भाग लो, किसी को कुछ बोल दो, OLQ रट लो, OLQ छिड़क लो. इट इज़ अ कंफर्ट जोन की ट्रेनिंग. Anything you want to achieve, you have to break the comfort zone. All growth happens outside the comfort zone. I'm an ex-ACC entry, like many of you service entries. I was also Jawan in the army, and today I'm speaking in front of you. I have tremendously pushed my comfort zone, what I was then and what I'm now. Push. I'll give you my own story, because today when I speak, many people get inspired by that, because I'm not a commissioned officer straight from my start. I was a simple Jawan with a 10th standard. And I constantly push this. Today, if my videos are making ripples, it is because I'm breaking the comfort zone. एक चीज़ याद रखना, अगर आप शहद बनाओगे तो मक्खियाँ जरूर आएगी, लेकिन आप शुगर फ्री करोगे ना, बहुत एडवर्टाइजमेंट करना पड़ेगा आपको रेकमेंडेड कैंडिडेट्स के बहुत सारे एडवर्टाइजमेंट करने पड़ेंगे, आपको फेविकोल लगा के मक्खियों को चिपकाना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि शुगर फ्री है. लेकिन इफ़ यू क्रिएट honey bees will come. So take care of that. Now, when you go to the comfort zone, 90% of the population is staying in the comfort zone. And your life becomes mediocre, you just survive, you struggle, too much of tired, depression, you can't, what if I can't, ye attitude andar chalta rehta hai, and there's too much of a competition, because it is survival of the fittest. That's not the way you should, train yourself. You are not getting trained for comfort zone, you're trained for combat zone. There's a difference. Combat zone में nothing is as per your plan. आपको कोचिंग सेंटर वाले बोलते हैं हमारे पास 2.5 एकड़ की ज़मीन में 100% स्पेसिफिकेशन के ऊपर हम GTO ट्रेनिंग कराएंगे. 100% स्पेसिफिकेशन के ऊपर GTO ट्रेनिंग कराने का मतलब है इट बिकम्स योर कंफर्ट जोन. इसका मतलब है कि आपको ताज के अंदर घुमा के 4 बार घुमा दिया तो आपका कंफर्ट जोन 100% स्पेसिफिकेशन पे ताज देख लिया, लेकिन जब कसब आएगा दैट कंफर्ट जोन विल बिकम कॉम्बैट जोन and nothing will be predictable. It happens. कोचिंग सेंटर्स वाले आते हैं वहाँ पे 2 मिनट में ख़त्म, थोड़ा सा GTO ने बोला दिस इज रेड, दिस इज ब्लू, द गेम इज ओवर. अरे you have to handle stress, because when ताज में कसब घुस जाएगा, even रतन टाटा cannot enter there, even though he got it built, or maybe he purchased it, whatever, I don't know. Even though he knows his 100% specification, अंदर घुसेगा, छेद कर देगा कसब, because now this comfort zone has become combat zone. आपको आपका पूरे OLQs टेस्ट किए जाते हैं प्रेशर में और आपको ट्रेनिंग देते हैं बिना प्रेशर का. नो, दैट्स नॉट द वे यू शुड बी ट्रेन. अनफॉर्चुनेटली तुम लोगों का दिमाग खराब हो गया है कोचिंग सेंटर वालों के ना प्रवचन सुन सुन के. So when you move out of the comfort zone, you have passion, you have belief, you have happiness, you have success, you have dreams, you are fearless. There's so much of opportunity, and the attitude is, what if I can? There's excitement, and trust me, there is no competition. There is no competition because moving outside, सारा competition, सारा गन तो comfort zone में है. आपस में लड़ रहे हैं, मर रहे हैं आप एक दूसरे को मार मार के. क्यों? Because there's a belief कि if I have to go up, others have competition. A leader always operates outside his comfort zone. तुम तो TAT रट के अंदर डाल दिया, कंफर्ट जोन की जगह में साला अंदर ही डाल दिया तुम्हें तो, है ना. सो इफ यू वांट टू अचीव सक्सेस, हैव द हैबिट ऑफ मूविंग आउटसाइड योर कंफर्ट जोन. कंफर्ट जोन के अंदर बहुत ज़्यादा कंफर्ट होता है. इट्स टू कंफर्टेबल. यू बिकम कंफर्टेबल बाय बीइंग मेकिंग योरसेल्फ अनकंफर्टेबल बाय मूविंग आउटसाइड योर कंफर्ट जोन. दैट्स वेयर द ग्रोथ लाइज एंड देयर इज नो कंपटीशन. इस फ्रेम में तुम आ जाओगे, देयर इज नो कंपटीशन, है ना. Today, I'm very proud to say AFOSOP has no competition, including the number one से. Why? क्योंकि number one लोगों ने target oriented करके रखा हुआ है, रट्टा based है, competition, and I have no doubts about making this claim here. इस बैच में जो अभी आए हुए हैं, there are 7 candidates जो number one को छोड़ के दिल्ली से और चंडीगढ़ से आए हुए हैं. I'll post all of them. I will request you to speak to them. AFOSOP has no competition. I'm not ISO certified, but I have it has been authenticated by DIPR, none less than DIPR. ISO certification से उनको क्या पता है SSB में क्या होता है. So AFOSOP is today's only India's process-oriented SSB interview guidance program, which does not talk about TAT SRT straight away. It talks about if I can improve you in your personality, TAT WAT SRT will improve as a byproduct. बीज पे ध्यान नहीं दिया, पेड़ पे झाड़ बन गया, अब उसमें मैंगो बांध रहे हो, आम बांध रहे हो, तो आम का पेड़ बन जाएगा. चार्ली काट रहे हो. नो, दैट डज नॉट. AFOSOP हैज नो कंपटीशन. बहुत सारे लोग इन्फ्लुएंस एंड इंस्पायर होकर कोशिश कर रहे हैं. देयर आर कोचिंग सेंटर्स इन लखनऊ जहाँ पे इसको ऑफिशियली चला रहे हैं. पूछ लेना, आई गिव यू एग्जांपल्स. AFOSOP के वीडियोस को ऑफिशियली चला रहे हैं और लड़के बोलते हैं अरे ये वीडियो तो हमने बाहर भी देखा था. But they can't do anything because now it is making people to question each other. So it's creating ripples. Why it is creating ripples? I'm operating outside the comfort zone. All the boys and girls who come here, they're operating out, and personality development, transformational leadership. That's what we're doing. So SSB तो बहुत छोटी चीज है, लाइफ का गेम है इधर. Now सवाल है, समझ में तो आ रहा है ये बात, how to do this change management. That's fantastic. It's not confined to SSB. If you have a big Q3 Zohari window, if you have a big, if you don't know what is in your Q4, if you don't know what is in your blind area, that is Q2, you need to know it. You need to understand yourself. So we will see how to do this change management in part 2, and I will only do it when I get your comments for this video. I will request you to like it, subscribe it, and share it. And as a request, I will wait till 500 comments. It because I find a lot of people are watching it, but they're not putting the comments. I want your comment. That encourages me. That gives me feedback that these videos are making changes. Please don't shy away from that. I can understand some coaching centers are also following it, but they cannot do that. And they cannot put my comments. Even kharab bhi dalna. So let them not do it. But at least if there are 5,000 views, I don't think 500 comments is very big request that I'm making. Please do it. उसके अलावा I'm going to make a couple of requests, both in terms of feedback. All of you those who are going to watch this, I'll request you, are you finding this AFOSOP video useful both in your life and in the SSB? If you're liking it or if you find it useful, kindly mention it, and also mention why are you feeling it so. And what do you find the feel so, especially if you're a coach candidate, I'd like to know why do you feel there's a difference. Number 3, if you have any suggestion to improve the quality of AFOSOP videos, I'm more than welcome to do that, incorporate that. Please don't say that I should increase the frequency of uploads, video upload. I will do that provided I get 500 comments. If 2,000, 3,000 people can watch over 3 days, I don't understand why 500 comments cannot come. I will increase the frequency of uploads based on the frequency of comments. You can actually force me to put 3 videos each week, provided I can get these many comments. That's a word to you. My rate of uploading the AFOSOP classes, these are the numbers on which you can contact: 82755775650. We have the base model is 30 days, 30 days. The shorter one is 14 days. 14 days we find grossly inadequate. And every Monday the batch starts, so you can approach us for this. And in case we want to contact for PG/hostel, Mr. Sabandan Patil can be contacted at the given number. And thank you for watching, and I hope good sense prevails and you are able to distinguish between what is right and wrong. Don't get cheated by Rattamar coaching centers. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching.